Sorry, I was just saying that you didn't hear anything I said? You didn't hear about the pomegranate disaster? And why my lip is stained red and I can't get it off? You see the staining on my lip? I ate a pomegranate before I came on, and it looked like I was shot because it was on my neck. I tried to eat it carefully, but it wasn't. And so yeah, it went all over, and I was getting it all off, but now I see that my lip over here is stained and it won't come off. I think I also have a stain here on my neck from one, and it went all in my eye. It squirted all in my eye when I was cutting it. So I probably have, it's probably like all under here. Oh, you thought I was talking to Jimmy? No, I was telling you the pomegranate story. And then I was telling you that I had to go into the live stream and fix my audience and everything. You got to do that. No, he didn't get his gun. No. You see this? She's all stained. I need more than a bib, Karen. I need like one of those face guards. I'm jumping in the shower. Okay, so let me go and try to get our Ray Garcia. And I apologize again. I have not gone to my email today yet. I'm really sorry. I'll try to do it in a little bit. I've been out all day today. Then I came home. Came on with you guys. No, I came home. I'm sorry. We ate dinner. Then we got the kids settled. Then they came down for water. But they were settled. Then I showed you the haul. Then I did the crafting. So I have not checked the email. Just so you know. Okay, now where did I put Ray's? Ray's should be, I think he's the first one over here. Let me see if I'm right. Yeah, I think I am right. Okay, we've also got Mark Petritis. And we have Teresa's brother Frank. And we have Emily. So remember when they said through Mark's text they saw that he was with multiple women? That's what I'm saying. Remember that they redacted some things as well. I got Ray Garcia right here. Okay. I just gotta see when it starts. But I think before Ray, we have to go to Julie. Who's Julie? Let me see who Julie is. Hot diggity. We've also got, hold on a minute. We should go in order here probably. I don't know who he was talking to here because they redacted so much. Whoever he was talking to here, it sounds like it's another cook, another chef. So that's 3. But then it's obviously some woman named Donna because in his text, he says, "Hi, Donna." But if we look at this one, on 11/2/2013, the woman says, "Hello, doll. I believe that something for a couple bottles of wine. I'll let you know tomorrow. Yes, I can. November 14th. We'll talk menu when I return. Is the seminar with BB&T free? I want to bring a woman with me. She's looking for a doctor like you." Oh, okay, hold on a minute. So this is going, but this is not going to Teresa. It's going to Mark's thing. This is weird. She's looking for a doctor like you. See you next week. Then on 11/3, she says, "Good morning. The total is 300 something, right?" Then on 11/3, Mark says, "Great. BBT seminar is free. Just need names for RSVP. Have fun." Then he says, "Hi, Donna. Teresa's putting on a seminar tomorrow night at work. Probably 25 people, and wants to know if you can bring a couple of batches of hummus and veggies. Think you have cucumbers and maybe carrots? Please let me know. And again, sorry for the short notice. It seems to be our theme here, though." She says, "No problem. I'll do 2 of those." Actually, I don't know why they redacted some of this. With the hummus, cucumber, and carrots. Do you want any pita on the trays? What time do you need us to drop it off? Happy New Year. That was January 6th. And Mark says, "Happy New Year to both of you. I believe the veggies are good with no pita. I believe the event starts at 7 p.m. When I talk to Teresa tonight, I will find out about getting to the office. I believe bottled water would be great if you are stocked. Thank you again." And then she says, "Okay, let me know. I can give you 9 bottles or something." Some of it didn't print out or whatever. 3 sparkling, and you can give me back whatever you don't use. You have plates, napkins, and cups? I'll send lemons and limes. Sounds good, he says. Then he says, "Since it's so cold, I will pick it up. What time works best for you?" She says, "How about 5:30? He says, "Sounds great. Just confirm. Tea will need utensils. I can pick up at store." Then he says, "Running behind today. Do you by any chance have utensils?" "No problem. We have plastic forks. You have the plates, napkins, and cups?" He says, "Oops. I don't have anything really, but I can't stop off at the..." He says, "I can, but I think I can't stop off at the store after I pick up the food from South Fork." She says, "No worries. I have it all. The plates are a little small, but they'll be fine." Then he says, "En route?" And then he says, "Hi, Donna. Sorry for the late hour text." This is now on a different day. This is another time. This is 1:29. "Sorry for the late hour text. We are doing an open house on Saturday, basically from 9 to 2 for about 50 people. I want..." I knew that was going to happen because I swallowed something before I was having a graham cracker with the pomegranates. After the pomegranates. Okay. So where was I? 9 to 2 for about 50 people, and I wanted to know if you guys would be able to do a hummus platter with some veggies and some water. And a great big salad, basically romaine lettuce. Mark. She says, "Sure, you would need 2 hummus, 2 salads, and a case of still water and a case of sparkling water. You wouldn't want the food at 9 a.m., would you?" He says, "Can you make 2 large salads? I'm thinking the food probably around 11. I'm not sure yet. The hummus platter you made last time with the carrots and cucumbers was incredible." Okay, and then she says, "Sure we can. We do the hummus the same way. Do you need it dropped off to the office at 11? Will you need plates, cups, and napkins? And utensils? And he says yes and yes. So she says okay and okay, LOL. And then where was I? Okay, she says, we'll see you on Saturday. He says, thank you. Okay, then he says, hi, Donna. It just dawned on me. This is March 31st, 2014. Almost a year before the murders, right? Okay. Hi, Donna. Hey, Donna, it just dawned on me. Can I pick up the water sometime today? That way it will be ready for open house starting at 9 o'clock in town. Now, here's what I don't understand about Mark, okay? Down in Florida, they have bottled water everywhere. Could he not walk into a freaking Publix or a Sam's Club or a Costco and pick up a huge thing of water? He's probably paying through the nose for it from her, but what does he have to bother her for? He could just go to Publix by himself and get the water. I don't know. Something's weird. Okay. It just dawned on him, can I pick up the water sometime today? See, he wouldn't even have to call her. He'd go to Publix and pick up the water. Go to Sam's Club and pick up the water. Go to Costco. So it'll be ready for open house starting at 9 o'clock. And then she says, I'm sure that'll be fine. I'll touch base with you after lunch. Thanks. And then he sent a smiley face. Okay. And then she says, Adrian has the water ready for you. How's Carmi? And he says, thanks, Donna. Carmi's doing great. And then he says, hi, Donna. Thank you guys so much for always coming through. We returned the unused water. What do they have to return the water for? This is crazy. And one of your dishes for the hummus and the salad and, of course, the utensils. We still have salad and hummus. It has not been opened, so we have it at the office in the fridge. We'll return the dishes next week if that's okay. Thank you again. Then he says, hey, Donna, I'm still waiting for you to tell me how much I owe you. I also have a couple of things to return, like your salad boat and maybe a platter plate hummus bowl in my car cleaned. This is spelled wrong, so I'm trying to say it. It looks like walnut to come home to you. But I think he means want it. It's really bad. Then he says, what date is this? Now, that was February. Now the next text is August. The end of August, 2014. Good morning, Donna. This is Mark Sievers. Just in case you don't have me saved in your phone, can we have a hummus and veggie platter for tonight with the veggies on the side? I can pick it up at about 5:40 p.m. if that works. Thank you very much. She says, you got it. 1 platter of hummus, carrots, and cukes. He says, thank you. Then he says, on the same day, Donna, someone we are using for desserts and for gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan cooking is Julie Butcher. I believe she already called you guys, and I just want to let you know that her food is very good, especially the desserts. And then he says, now, that was the end of August. Now we're at February 12th, 2015, just a few months before the murder. He says, he says, hello, it's Mark. I just spoke with Melissa at the hotel about dropping off the wine for the gals. Can I pick it up and then drop it off there on the 18th, Wednesday morning? And she says, sure, Mark, anytime you like. It's at my house. Love to all. And then he says, thank you, and how many cases? And then he says, Donna, what time can I pick up the wine tomorrow morning, and how many cases are there? Mark. She says, anytime. The wine is It's waiting for you. It's at my house in Rapallo. We moved. And then he said, and then she said, there are 17 cases. Sure. And he says, can I come over at 9:30 a.m.? And then he sends a smiley face. And she says, just ask for Sophia. He says, how do I get through the gate? And then he says, I was at the wrong gate on way. And then he says, good morning. Then she says, good morning, Mark. Can you come and pick up at 10 instead of 9? Sure, he says. And she says, yes, thank you. South Fork, he said, yes, thank you, she said. He says K, the letter K. Then on 5/10, this is a month before the murders, 5/10/2015, Happy Mother's Day, darling. 3x2. Now, see, he sends the same thing. Somebody said, like, because he doesn't want to mess up, so he calls them mommy and darling. And, yeah, Happy Mother's Day, darling. And now it's not from the Sievers or anything. This is after he's talked to Curtis about killing his wife. So now she's darling, just like Curtis's sister. That's kind of weird for the person that's cooking your food. Okay. She says, thank you, see you later. He says, seating will be, now this is 5:10, seating will be best at front center stage, facing the right. Now, she's going to somebody's recital? Okay. And then he says, she says, Kay, is it on Bonita Beach Road? He says, yes. It's about a quarter of a mile west of Old 41 on Bonita Beach Road on the north side. She says, thank you, I'll see you in a few. He says, Kay. Then she says, we're here. Now on 6, that's the end of that. Now 6:30, after the murders. Murder. I'm sorry, I keep saying murders. Murder. Mark, can you text me your mom's address or where I can bring the food for dinner? Thank you. XO Donna. XO? Your caterer? Weird? Weird to me. XO, your caterer. Okay. Then she says, now tell me your caterer does this too. Also, we have 2 empty rooms at our house if anyone wants to stay. Come and stay. Because your caterer usually does that. There is a queen and a king, so please offer it. It would be our pleasure. Thank you. Okay, that's beyond weird. So she doesn't even know who he could invite there. He might send over his Uncle Larry, who's really weird or, I don't know, drunk or making advances on her. Just send anybody over. We have a king and a queen. Send them right on over. Very weird. Extremely weird. That's the last text I have from her and him. Okay, then we have the next participants will be Michael, and they blacked out part of his name, but it ends in D-E-N-T, and it's Dr., it looks like Dr. Dent Michael. Okay. So, this Michael character says, Kevin, I can't do Friday, but Monday at 4:30, will that work? I don't know why he said, he said Kevin can't do it. Okay, so then Mark says, Estero office? As Michael says, Naples. Maybe this is the dentist, Dr. Dent. Maybe it's his dentist. Then is this Dr. Dent says, reminder, meeting today at my office in Naples. Mark says, I will be there. Right next to the hospital? What is the actual address? He says 1726 Medical Boulevard, first floor, next to the North Collier Hospital off Immokalee Road. Then Mark says, FYI, our pay off is $9,754. What is this? $511.71. Our daily interest is $1,016.10, and our monthly payment, TIB/Capital Bank, is $60,197.75. And then he says, Doctor, I spoke with Ahouck, Ahouck, around 12 noon. He wants, I think this is that buyout where they said they were getting $1 million or something. Well, the sister said that. Now this is 2013, March. So he says he wants to have a meeting on Tuesday, the day before we talked about at 5:30 on at a Stero Medical Center. He wants to discuss the pending sale of the land and the building. Call me when you have a little more information. Hope you're having a great day. Mark. Then he says, the dentist, doctor, whoever he is, says, okay, I'll call you in a few. And then he says, our meeting starts at 5:30. And then he says, great. And then Mark says, according to ED. And then this doctor or dentist says, okay, see you there. And then he says, in feedback from our, and they redacted something. Mark says, nothing yet. I left a message with the ortho guys. I am sending the contact info out tonight. Okay, this Michael says, okay. Then Mark says, it's amazing. I just got a K1 statement and there are some financials. I received your email. Thank you. I will send out tonight. And this Michael guy said, yes, he called me too. And Mark says, I just dropped off the paperwork at Mr. Coleman's office. They will be calling you directly when they have done the review. He says, great. And then Mark says, doctor, meeting tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Any word from attorney? Mark. He says, no, I figured he'd call you. Then he says, any news from the bank? Mark says, nothing from anyone, so I figured I'd check with you. Okay, and let's see. He, the dentist, doctor, whoever he is, Michael, let's call him Michael. So I called his office today. I am in the OR all day today. So I guess it was a doctor, not a dentist. Okay, let's go, unless he's, well, does oral surgery in the hospital. Okay. K, Mark says. Then Mark says, any additional info about the meeting tomorrow to discuss the offer? And this doctor says, I'll call you in a bit. Then Mark says, I can't talk right now. I'm on the phone, and I'll return your call as soon as I can. This doctor says, okay. And then Mark says, Dr. Dent. Okay, that's his name, Dr. Dent. He's not a dentist. This is Mark Sievers. Give me a call. And this is November 13th, 2014. Getting closer to the merge. So what? It's 7 months away. This is Mark Sievers. Give me a call when you have time, please, so we can talk about EMC. Thank you and have a wonderful day. And Dr. Dent says, okay, give me your number. And Mark gives a number. And then Mark says, morning. Any news from your buyer? Sorry, I have not sent the email to you yet. We have 5 units and could possibly let them go for a total of $20,000. Dr. Dent says, I think they have a meeting coming up next week. Dr. Dent says, hey, question, call me. Dr. Dent says, do you have something for your units to purchase? I am interested if you still want to sell. And then Mark says, yes, I can try to get to you today. Any news on the sale? And he says, not yet. I had a meeting and they just want to buy the land. Okay. And then Mark says, just an FYI, I sent you an email earlier today about the units. Smiley face. Dr. Dent says, yes, I responded. Did you see? Mark says, no, I have not looked yet. I will check now. And then Dr. Dent says, yes, let me know what you want to do. If you want to buy them all now, I will, or suggest buy 3 units now and 2 in 60 days. I just want to make sure I can vote, and I would rather buy them from you than have someone else have the vote. You know how I feel about the rest of the guys. They can never agree on anything. And then he says, you decide what you want to do. Mark says, just discussing the best option you presented. Teresa and I will talk more when she gets home tonight. Thanks. Okay, and then the Dr. Dent says, okay. And Dr. Dent says, I'm dealing with some cash allocation issues for the holiday. Are you wanting to do something this month? Let me know so I can plan. And Mark says, yes. It's just been crazy busy with Teresa's time. I will get back to you ASAP. Dr. Dent says, okay. Dr. Dent says, did you decide if you want to sell all or half? Mark says, sell them all. The doctor says, okay. The doctor says, are you going to send me something for the sale? Mark says, yes. But I believe we have to go through EMC for the first right of refusal. The doctor says, could be only if you sell outside the group. You have to ask that. Okay. And then this is now December 29th. Mark says, Dr. Dent, I just spoke with Ed. He feels we need to at least notify the other members and see if anyone else is interested. I'm not certain, as when I reviewed the documents, it was not clear since you were the existing owner. Call me anytime. And then he says, okay, I'll call you later. Mark says, K. Then Mark tries to contact again Dr. Dent. Sorry for the late text. Thank you for advising me to possibly wait. After talking with Ed and Teresa, we feel it would be better to wait and see what happens with this current prospect. Mark. Bless you. Then, let me see. Dr. Dent says, okay, no problem. Mark says, hello. Have you heard anything, or are you waiting until tonight? Mark. Dr. Dent says, okay, your units or sale? Mark says, about the sale of Estero Med Center. This now is March 20th, 2015. He says, no, nothing. Okay? Then he says, I guess we will have to wait till tonight and we have to vote. Okay, great. Then Mark says, Teresa will be with me too. See you then. And then he says, good morning, Dr. Dent. I just want to let you know I was wondering if you knew anything else about the offer to buy Estero Medical. He said, no, I haven't heard anything. Then, let's see. Dr. Dent says, Ed should let us know it fell through or what's happening. And then Mark says, I just got off the phone with Ed. He's meeting the 2 principals tomorrow to tie up some loose ends in the contract that they slept over. Okay, and where are we? The Dr. Dent says, okay, well, I hope it keeps moving forward. I hope so. And then he says, okay, well, hope it keeps moving forward. And then Mark, what is Mark doing here? Mark says agreed. That's all Mark says. And then Dr. Dent says, we're going to call the new LLC Mark's LLC. Will you join? And then Mark says, I know, I just read it. And then Mark says, would you be interested in buying some units? And the doctor says, LOL, oh, now you do? We can talk. And then he says, I'll be up there Friday. Do you want to do lunch? And then he says, okay. Then Mark says, I can't, as Teresa's out of town, and then I have the girls. And then Dr. Dent says, okay, just let me know. Maybe next week? Mark says, okay. And then Dr. Dent says, if you want to sell your units, we need to do next week. Otherwise, I can't after that. And then Dr. Dent says, just let me know if you are, it's cut off here, something wanting to sell. Mark says, we are. So then this guy says, okay. Then Mark says, I haven't heard about any movement with the real estate yet, but we are interested in selling the units. And then this Dr. Dent says, do you know if we can get, what we can do without having something about the bow? Oh, and then he says board game. Do you know if you can do without having the board game? What? Oh, then he says, without having, my eyes must be tired. Without having the board agree. And then he says, do you know? I'm thinking, like, what is this? More code? They're playing Monopoly? Okay. And then he says, okay, that's good then. And then Mark says, I think we should, since we're both owners in the complex, we only need board approval for an outside transaction. Dr. Dent says, just let me know how many units and the price per unit. I assume same as we discussed before. And Mark says, I will let you know as soon as I can speak with Teresa. Okay, Dr. Dent says. Then he says, you want to catch up this weekend for a cup of coffee to discuss your thoughts? And Mark says, that's it. Mark doesn't respond, and that was May 15th of 2015 was the end of their discussions. So that's like what the sister said, that there was something about the sale and stuff that was going on with that thing right up to when she died. So the next text messages are from Mark to a James Hendrick. And they start February 26th of 2013. Mark says, James, no need to call me tonight. Did you hear from, and they redacted it. Also another patient issue. Then James Hendrick says, I did end up speaking to, they blanked it out. The morning we had a good conversation. He seems happy and resolved to the billing issue, and it resolved to his satisfaction. Please text me the other patient name and delete the date of birth so that we can look into the other issues. Thanks. And then Mark says, currently on a school bus. I will send you info this afternoon. Okay, and then let's see. He says, okay, have fun. And then he says, good morning. How are you? Can you call me when you have a minute? Thanks. And then he says, something's redacted. Next thing, Mark says, James, do you have answers for what appears to be billing discrepancies? And then James says, I wanted to let you know that Beth said we should be able to get your last statement emailed to you tomorrow. And then Mark says, thanks. Sorry I had to go so quickly earlier. Have a great day. No problem. I understand. The only thing I didn't get to ask you, apparently, we have one of your patients, and then he puts the patient's name, it's redacted, of course, drop off a stool specimen to us yesterday with no order. We tried multiple times to get an order from upstairs, but haven't received it as of this afternoon. I personally left a message on Sandra's voicemail today after I was told by Lucinda. Not sure if the order was sent down, but I don't want to wait too long before the specimen is no good. And then Mark says, I'm checking into it now, James. I spoke to Frank and he gave Sandra the message, but he wasn't aware of anyone trying to reach us yesterday as he pulled most of the messages. But we're going to get this all handled. Now this was July of 2013. Okay, and then Mark says, James, I trust the issue was taken care of today. Patient with the stool drop off. And then James says, good morning. Now this is like 2 weeks later. How are you? I wanted to follow up on your account billing process. Beth said that your balance goes back to March, which is very overdue. Any idea when a check will be sent? And then Mark says, James, when I spoke to Beth last, she was going to resend and fax to me at home. The first time she sent that I corrected, I didn't know what was coming in and getting the card. And getting this card. I get to receive it. As soon as I receive it, it will go through the same day. Okay. And I will call you with a credit card. Okay. And then he says, receive the fax tonight. This is Mark. I will look at it and call Beth in the morning with the credit card payment. Then this James says, good afternoon. How are you? I realize you and Beth have been playing phone tag, but you can please just try and make a payment by the end of the week. And Mark says, I just saw her 10 minutes ago, and I will have to call you. Thank you very much. That's what James said that. Then Mark said, been trying to. And then Mark said, have her call me, as when I call her, she's not available. And Mark says, no problem. And then he says, I paid balance through the 8th of July. And then James says, oh, thank you very much for catching up with Beth. Okay, and this Mark says, have a great day. This James says, thank you, good luck surviving the last few weeks of summer before school starts. We are at 8/6/2013. And then Mark says, it gets better. We're going to start homeschooling now. Now that was August 6, 2013. Mark says, James, this is taken from an email I just received from a patient. I went on Friday morning to Granite to take my urine sample and get my blood work. You told me to go to this lab in particular, but have you or anyone else in your company received a check like this? I'm trying to see here. Okay, so then, let's see. Mark says, James, this is okay, we got that. I went on Friday to Granite to take off. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm sorry. I must. I thought we were on the same thing because he said that the same way. Okay. So, James, but it wasn't. I thought it was the stool sample thing, but no, it happens to be urine samples now. And I don't know, I just must be tired and it's hitting me funny. James, this is taken from an email I just received from a patient. I went on Friday morning to Granite to take in my urine samples and get my blood work done. You told me to go to this particular lab, but have you or anyone in your office actually been to this place? I have had many blood tests done, usually at Quest or DSI. I have never heard of this place before, and having now been there, I think I know why. I was the only customer. I found it to be dirty, ugh, and scruffy looking. It looks like a temporary setup with several half-empty rooms. There is piping held up by duct tape in the restroom, and overall it looks very unhygienic. But here, take my blood out, get a needle. There is one technician who I would say answers the same, who answers the same description. She was poking around for a vein in my arm, and I had to ask her, aren't you going to wear gloves? Ooh. And the worst part was that she couldn't even draw my blood. I am a difficult draw. My veins are deep, but I have never, ever had someone fail to do it. I'm not sure why you use this facility, but I have no confidence in it, and I want my tests done elsewhere. And my urine samples were frozen. I had to leave them there. I'm supposed to return on Monday for her to try again, but I'm not going to let them touch me. I am willing to go and collect my urine samples, so please advise where I need to take them and get my blood work done. I thought you would like to know this. Have a great weekend. Okay, and then James says, good morning. I hope you had a good weekend. And let me see, this is like 12 days later. Good morning, I hope you had a good weekend. I am sorry to receive this text from your patient's experience at our Bonita location. Carol is again the only one that runs that place, so I'm disappointed that she would let it look like that. Rick is down there and will stop in. And then Mark says, sorry to have to report it again. I don't know the accuracy of what I've been told, and all I'm doing is passing it on. Thanks. And then James says, thank you for passing it on. I'll wait to hear back from Rick. Okay, and then Mark says, thanks for the update. Like I said earlier, I can't attest to the accuracy of what the patients have said. I can only pass it on to you. And then James says, thank you, and same to you and your family. And then James says, hello, how are you? I wanted to clarify something with you and make sure we don't end up in the crossfire later. Should our staff follow Dr. Sievers' request to send a specimen to a specific laboratory, even if the patient or their insurance says it should go somewhere else? For example, if a doc requested a BCBS patient go to LabCorp or UHC, okay, so this is just about the billing. Then James says, good morning. How are you? TGIF. Rick will be in town this weekend and will be looking at a site on Sanibel for a new PSC. I know you said in the past you wanted to move towards Naples and the affluent. You wanted to move near Naples and the affluent. Is there enough on Sanibel that would make sense for you to have a satellite office there? Satellite office. And then this James says, good morning. Now it's June 27th, 2014, almost exactly a year before the murders. Rick will be in town this weekend and we'll be looking at the site on Sanibel. I know you have, okay, so this is, again, that's repeated. Hang on a minute. Now we have same day. There may be enough people there to justify having, Mark saying this, a draw station, but not from our practice. So this James says, sounds good. Thank you for the reply. I hope you have a great weekend. Mark says, I hope you have a great weekend also. And I'm actually taking the girls to Busch Gardens today, so it's like we're swapping locations for the weekend. And James says, you are a brave man to battle that heat. Have fun. This was June 27th. Next is, what is it, 11/7/2014. Good morning. I also wanted to see if you received the email and password from the billing company for your most recent statements. And then James says, good afternoon. I hope all is well. I received your voicemail regarding, I guess it's a patient's name because it's redacted. Think the confusion here is regarding the date of service. The last time we did any in-house blood testing on there was 2013. The most recent blood work and results are done by LabCorp was on 2/19/15, almost 2 years later. If I am missing something, please let me know. Just to let you know, I have never received my modified critical values that Dr. Sievers wanted. And Mark says, thanks. I will check on that info to see the dates of service were cut off. The modified critical values you have not received yet because they have not been done. Thank you for double checking for me. That's the end of their conversation, and that was on March 10th, 2015. Okay. Now the next one is Julie Noonan. So he says this is May 12, 2013. Thank you. Tell Teresa I said Happy Mother's Day to her as well. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. And Mark says, Happy Mother's Day, Julie. And then she says, you're welcome and thank you. Okay. And then let's see. Mark says, can't talk right now. I'm on the phone. I will return your call as soon as I can. She says, okay. He says, can I call you back in 2 minutes? She says, sure thing. And then she says, sorry, have to run in to pick up my son. And then I wonder if this is the one that's in the tub. Because the one that's in the tub had a son. And then I will only be available until 5. Maybe you can email me since we seem to have a hard time connecting via phone. He says, okay, on phone with new patient. Then he says, Julie, basically I want to know if you've done direct mail marketing and if you can guide me in the right direction. And if that is not your area, I'm sorry to bother you. She says, no problem. Yes, I've done direct mail marketing. I typically don't recommend it to clients because it has such a low ROI, but I could help you out if you told me a little bit more about what your goals are. So Mark says, we're doing an open house for laser therapy on Friday, May 2nd. That would be May of 2014, not 2015. At Grand Aza from 9 to 1. And it has been suggested that we go with direct mail marketing. It might hold better results, but they may be wrong. She says, it's an option. If you just do postcards, it's affordable. It's just the quality of mailing lists that usually have the issue. And then she says, do you already have mailing lists or would you need to purchase those? If it's something you're interested in, I could give you a quote on handling the project. And then she says, or if you want to handle it in-house, you can research direct mailing through the U.S. Postal Service and you can go through companies like Vistaprint. And he says, I'd appreciate a quote. Thank you. She says, okay, I can get you something by the end of the week. Okay, Mark says. And then Julie says, or do you have those? And then she says, do you need to purchase mailing lists? And Mark says, I didn't know anything about mailing lists. I just thought you pick the area with the zip code you want. That is why I'm asking you. You have significantly more experience and knowledge in this area than I do. She says, well, if you have a mailing list, it just involves printing and postage. If you need to purchase lists by zip code, demographic, that costs extra. He says, okay. And then he says, after talking with doctor, could we send to Miramar Lakes only? And she says, yes, I think so. Also, do you already have a postcard designed, or should I include a graphic design in the quote? He says, I believe I may have a postcard that came with the laser machine. And then she says, can you talk for a minute? He says, why? She said, and then he says, Julie, just wanted to know where we stand with the direct mailing. It can obviously wait until Monday, Mark. Now we're talking about April 13, 2014. She says, hi, Mark, I'm so sorry. I meant to get back to you on Friday to give you an update. I was still looking for a way to deliver only to Miramar Lakes. It didn't appear to be on the direct mail routes with the U.S. Post Office, so I was having to research some others to see if it would be possible. All of the surrounding communities have routes. Maybe they have some kind of block. Seems like it should be possible, but it's just requiring some additional research since it's not appearing to be an option through the direct mail service that I've used in the past. Okay, and then Mark says, no problem, call me when you can. And then he says, from the Sievers family, happy Mother's Day. This is Mother's Day of 2014, a little over a year before Teresa was killed. Then May 11th. Okay, this is the end. This is the last one. Julie says, thank you, you too. So I don't know. I guess they got rid of that one. Now here's Ray Garcia, okay? Mark first starts. This is March 4th of 2013. Can't talk right now. I'm driving and on my way. And this Ray Garcia says, just spoke with name redacted. She told him last night that she was going to see Teresa today to do some blood work. So maybe try calling her now and having you somewhere to where she can follow you to Teresa's office. And then this Ray says, Mark, how soon would you know if you guys are going to be in town this weekend? Name redacted, wants to come next week. Then Mark says, can't talk right now. I'm driving and on my way. And then Ray says, oh, okay. And then he says, did blank lay with you? Lay with you. That can't be. That cannot be. Something's redacted. I'm thinking like, that doesn't even make sense. Did blank lay with you? Did blank lay with you? And would you guys be able to run blood tests? Mark says, 2C total earnings, white, gold, or platinum, money, dollar signs. What the heck is going on? Okay, and Ray says, Jania, and I just got to Branson, Missouri. I'll call you tomorrow. Branson, Florida. Then Mark says, thanks, Ray. Then he says, now I'm thinking on making a ring for her, possibly platinum with stones, like a nice mother's ring, with the 6 stones that are listed in this. And he gives them, I don't know, some document about her stones, but we can't pull it up. So then, where's this now? Ray says, good idea. I can make it up quickly in like 2 weeks or less. And then he says, okay, please give me 20. And then Mark says, call me so I can explain and stuff if it's going to work. Okay. And then Ray says, hello, Mark. I will call you with specs by 10:30 Eastern. And Mark says, question mark. And then he says, love your memes. And then Mark says, gives the home address. Okay. Then Ray says, okay, tomorrow when they arrive. Now this is October 30th, 2013. Tomorrow when you arrive. Who's writing this part here? Oh, he downloaded his email. Mark did. And then Mark said, can't talk right now. I'm on the phone. I will return your call as soon as I can. Okay, Mark. Then he says, she loves it. Thanks again. Garcia says, great, with all these exclamation points. And then, okay. Can't talk right now again, Mark says. I'm on the phone. I'll return your call as soon as I can. And then, 122, he says, Justin, FYI, Ray. Justin, FYI. Okay, so he's doing voice to text. So it's Justin, FYI, Ray. The center stone fell out of Teresa's ring tonight. Very frustrating. And Ray says, send it to me. And then he says, did you find it? Okay. And then he said, no. She looked down at her ring and noticed it was gone. And Ray says, are all the prongs there? He says, yes, and her stone, the citrine. And he says, send to me and let me see if I can repair it. And then he says, as it turns out, it appears to not be the same type of setting as the mother's ring. I bought her a few years ago. However, the ring was $250, and the center stone came out of that too. Go figure. Okay. And let's see. Mark says, Garcia says, send it to me. He says, you bet. He says, Mark says, okay. Thank you. Then Sievers says, so is this your complete address? You know, it's the P.O. box. Yes, it is. Okay. Citrine goes in the center of both rings, correct? That was Garcia asking Mark. Then Mark says, just received a call from Jamia. Okay, here's where it gets weird, I think. Mark says, all stones appear to be intact and whole. Then Ray says, can you call me when you can? And he says, okay. Now this is, I think, where they go into the glitter and then the makeup and then, okay. I don't mean makeup. What did I mean? What is this? There's, okay. I just had it. I can't think of what I was trying to say right now. So Garcia said, can you call me when you can? And Mark says, look, 6 hours of trying to get the internet up. Computers are currently down. He says, I can't talk right now. I'm on the phone and will return your call as soon as I can. Ray says, okay, that's fine. Then Garcia says, I want you to know if you sent the payment on the rings and had to pay for Jania's card to be fixed at $10.80 an hour, plus a permanent visitation and the, what is the permanent invitation? What did I just say? I feel like I'm falling asleep. Oh my gosh, wait a second. getting really scared now. I hope I didn't fall asleep and was talking in my sleep. That's really bad. Okay. I don't even know where I just said permanent invitation. This is why I need to read with people. So the computers are down. He can't talk now. I will return your call as soon as I can. And then Garcia says, okay, that's fine. And then Garcia says, I want to know if you sent payment on the rings. And I had to pay for Jamia's car. Now, Jamia, is that the sister? To be fixed, the stepson, at $1,081 plus. Is there any way you could help me by pitching in some money? When you send me the check for $130, make it out to me, please, 2 exclamation points. Mark says K, just the letter K. And then Ray says thanks. And then Garcia says, hey Mark, I haven't received the check from you on the repair. If the ring and that you were able to help me with Jamia's car repair of $1,080. So Garcia says, okay. And then Mark says, Ray, I realized last night that I hadn't sent you that check. I printed it off and mailed it out this morning. I'm not able to help you right now with the repair bill. As you know, there's a lot of expenses to having your own business. It's not something I can do right now. Currently, we are all hemorrhaging money, Mark. And then Mark says, I imagine you'll either get it tomorrow or the next day. Garcia says, okay, thanks. Garcia says, Mark, we need to help your sister. Look at this. Now he posts 2 pictures. One is of a kitchen sink, and one, it's very hard to see what it is. And Garcia says, she needs a new dishwasher and she needs a sink repair. Then he sends another picture and he says, call me when you can. And then this is on 11/10/2014. He says, Mark, we need to have an intervention with your sister. She is worse. 11:10. Ray says, you say you can help her, but I don't think you can control her. She needs rehab. And then Ray says, did you ever call your brother Scott to see if he was going to help Jamia find a car? And then Ray says, no, I just got back today. And then Mark says, are you in Vegas? And then he says K. And then Garcia says, why? That's a weird thing, right? Are you in Vegas? Why? Do you know I'm in Vegas? Do you know for sure I'm in Vegas? And then Mark says, just curious. I know they had a small jewelry show in Vegas. And Garcia says, small, one of the biggest. And Sievers says, that was my attempt. Oh, so Garcia is saying small. It's one of the biggest, but he didn't do the right punctuation. So Mark says, I know, that was my attempt at humor. Garcia says, I'm so sorry, Mark. 2 exclamation points. Now that's 6:30. So that the other, when he was asking about the jewelry show, that was 6:02, 6:30. He says, I'm so sorry, Mark. Mark says, thanks on 6:30. Thanks. Okay? And that, who's this? Rick Wilson. Rick Wilson. Okay, Beth Jung. Okay, Rick Wilson is real short. I don't know, it's like 3 texts. Dr. Rick. Could you call me? Okay, what for exactly? I'm just seeing if there's any of the partners. Okay, the partners, and Mark says, and significant others haven't had a meeting since we joined this business venture together in 2006. There is an offer for the building. One of the docs is bringing someone to the table. and the owners need to meet to discuss certain things again. I was elected to gather and inform the docs. And then Mark goes on. From Sievers, we are planning on having partners-only meeting after EDS meeting on Monday. Tonight. Ortho, Dent, Rad, Reg, Hennon, and Urgent Care are aware of it. Hopefully you can attend. And Rick says, I'm in Washington for a conference. And then Mark says, thanks, Dr. Rick. Dr. Rick says, thank you. And then Mark says, this is Mark. Okay. So let's see. 3/5/2013. Mark texts Beth Jung, happy 50th birthday, 4 exclamation points. She says, thanks, Mark. Okay. Then she says, thank you, best ever. She sends a picture of something. Mark says, awesome. And then on 9/19/2013, she says, we are in the ER with Gramps. Gramps. And she says, thanks for being here. Jenny is on the way. Mark says, no problem. This time, Jenny told before he left the hospital. Then Mark says, hi, Beth. I'm having dinner with my girls, and Josie asked me about your mother, and I asked her what she was referring to since she started referring to Grandma Jenny. Ha, ha, ha. She thought Jenny was your mother. I thought you'd see the humor in that. And Beth says, he, he, he. And then on 5/11/2014, he says, from the Sievers family, Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day from the Sievers family on, let's see, May 10th. She says, Mark, please, if there's anything else I can do. Now, this is that was May 11th, Happy Mother's Day of 2014. Right next text was May 10th, 2015, Happy Mother's Day. And then on to 6:30 after the murder, she says, Mark, please, is there anything you need, anything I can do for you? Let me know. I love you and your family. My heart goes out to you. My heart is with you still. He says, thanks, Beth. He doesn't say anything else. She says, love you, with a bunch of exclamation points. Okay. And then we got Michael O'Rourke. I'm just going to go back and see if you guys are here, what I've been doing, because I think I've been... Oh my gosh. What happened, Detective Halverson? Detective Halverson? Hi, Detective Halverson. Is it your first time here? Alma, there have been some questions about this as well. I think the man who found her couldn't be sure because he said there was a bunch of stuff everywhere. Sure, oh man, me too. The case is the coolest. I feel like I fell asleep. That's what I was scared of, because I felt like I fell asleep for him. Like, did I fall asleep for a minute? And then I said something that wasn't even in the text. I said something like, what did I say? Something about a guarantee or something? Did I close my eyes, Tanya? Oh my God. Oh my gosh. That's bad. Like when I was driving, that's what it felt like. It felt like, wait, did I fall asleep? How to see? I said glitter and makeup. Oh my gosh. You know why? Jimmy's got the house is so hot. You can so relate, Angel Callie. And I'm sitting here, and I guess it actually feels like when you're driving and you're like, oh, I'm awake, I can do this, I can do this. And then you're reading, so it's like, when you're tired and you read something and then you can't keep your eyes open? So it seemed like. Oh my gosh. Whisper to me. I think I really do think I was Danielle. But I can remember that we read about some cook, and then we read about a Dr. Dent, and then after that was a Julie Noonan or something. Could be the memoirs. I don't think it's that. I think it's just that I've been going and going and going and going and going. Really, Tico? Get some sleep? Yeah, I am. Oh my gosh. I fell asleep, Jimmy. I fell asleep reading here. I fell asleep. You didn't hear me stop? They said I fell asleep like when you're driving the car and you fall asleep for a minute.
Really?
Yeah. And then I said something about glitter and makeup. Yeah. So that was really good. I closed my eyes.
Your eyes are really, how did you read and fall asleep?
Because I was reading him. Do you ever read and fall asleep?
Yeah. It's not really,
Yeah, well, that's what happened.
You got it though, honey?
Be the Minwax. No, it's not the bad Minwax, Carol. It's a water base. It doesn't smell. My foot heater is on, and Jimmy's got the house on, so I could really shut this. It's like about 114 degrees in here.
It's 71.
71, Jimmy said, but feels like 114. I should quit while I'm ahead. I don't know that I'm ahead, Sakura. Oh my goodness. A Chris Watts? Oh, yeah, with that. I think I did. No, I did, Danielle. I know because I was like reading something. And I was like, what? I know I'm up. I'm up. Are you asleep? No, I'm up. You're gonna crash. I'm gonna crash early too. I don't know why. Like, okay, yeah, I've been going and going and going. I've been staying up too early and getting up early, and then just keep going. 66, you like it cold. Minwax is like duct tape, and WD-40 fixes most everything. Okay, well, yeah, we'll get into the rest of this. It's like that Mop and Glow stuff. Oh my goodness, this one will go down. Now I can just hear that one. She actually fell asleep when she was reading. It was too much. The glitter went to her brain. Yeah, your eyes are burning. Okay, maybe we've all been affected with the glitter. I don't know. You've like through the monitor. Janelle, I'm going to bed early tonight. How do you like that? Isn't that funny? All right. You've done that a lot at church after your surgery, all that pain medication. The preacher talking slowly. I know when I had mononucleosis in college, that was horrible. I would fall asleep, like I didn't even know I had mononucleosis at first, right? You're sitting in there, sitting in English class, and then I would nod out. And I'd be like, what the heck is wrong with me, right? But I didn't know I had mononucleosis. That was the thing. When I had mononucleosis, I could just be sitting on a couch just waiting for someone, and I would have, it was like narcolepsy. And then I was like, when they finally diagnosed me, I was like, oh my gosh, that's what it is. All right, everybody. Thank you to our moderators. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I don't think I ever want to even watch this on playback. It's a glitter high. Thank you guys. Everybody go to bed early tonight, and we'll be back on tomorrow. I have to finish the other crafts anyway, so it'll be good. I'll get the other stuff done tomorrow. Did you miss the Sievers stuff? I think we all missed it because there's a little bit of it. I fell asleep a little bit. All right, everybody. We'll tell everyone it was an act. Okay. All right, everybody. Have a good night and stay safe. Love you. God bless. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Let me see how to shut this off. I can't see my thing. How come I can't see my shut off? I have papers stacked on my monitor. Oh, I know why. My thing wasn't even the right size tonight. I was not doing well. Okay.